The aid needs to be delivered. And tying it to debt ceiling or other things, I think, is a gross error. People's livelihoods should not be tied to whether or not the United States Congress can responsibly get to a place where they can pay their bills.
So you would think just have whatever funding you're going to have, emergency or otherwise, have it, don't tie it or attach it to anything or put provisos on it?
Absolutely not. Straight up or down vote on the aid that's necessary to make sure that the people in Houston not only can get through this first period, but I can tell you from the Hurricane Sandy experience that this lasts for a while afterwards in the rebuilding that people are going to need to get their area back to what it needs to be.
All right, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie says Harvey relief, get it out there, get it done, and do it fast. And the Home Depot co-founder and billionaire Ken Langone agrees.
Get it done. Get these people all the help they deserve and need, okay, right away. We spend $2 trillion in the Middle East to get one guy, okay, and the disaster that we've suffered because of that. Let's show the world what we're like as a nation, that we can pull together. I don't disagree with anything Chris says, nothing. And leave Cruz alone. He said it 5 years ago. I think he probably laments the fact that he said it when he said it, but it's over.
Yeah, I think Texas Senator Cruz, of course, who was against Sandy at the time, saying it was part of pork barrel legislation. Of course, they were renewing that rivalry.
I was on the other end of that argument.
Right, I remember.
Believe it or not, the greatest ally we had was Chuck Schumer.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable, okay? And we all put our politics aside. He forgot he was a Democrat. I forgot I was a Republican. He got Fugate up here, the guy that was the head of FEMA.
I remember that.
We got it done. Look at what's happened.
You know, you mentioned, you forgot party labels. There's talk now next week the president's going to meet with top congressional leaders, including Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, presumably on the tax cut thing. And that maybe the backdrop is this, and this finding a way to work together to quit the political arguing, to try to find a solution. Where do you think that's going to go?
Well, I think we ought to forget tax cuts as long as we have a great need like what's going on in Texas right now. If we have to not get tax cuts so we can afford to take care of that, that's a good trade.
Really? Across the board?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. First things first. We have Americans. We have good, decent, caring, loving, patriotic Americans who are hurting right now. They've lost their home. Think of the tragedy if you went home tonight and everything you had is gone. Every single thing you worked your whole life for is gone. The last thing you need is to be in a society where they're being petty about tax breaks and tax cuts and this thing and that thing. Let's get it done. Let's show the world exactly how great we are as a nation and why we are a great nation.
Now, one of the other things that's been sort of pushed off is this idea that the government would shut down or that there'd be a debt ceiling. That in this environment,
ain't gonna happen.
You don't want to happen, right?
It's not going to happen now.
Yeah.
It would be one of the most unpatriotic things in the world to do, to cut back on governments, because if you shut the government down, you're going to do the things that Christie did.
So in a weird way, this tragedy has stopped that from even being considered.
You know, I'll never challenge God, because he always wins and he's always right. But you think about this tragedy in Texas right now, maybe it's something as calamitous as this that brings us together as a nation, and we forget we're Democrats and we forget we're Republicans, and we just get the job done like we always done. World War II is a good example.
Yeah, yeah.
We pull together as a nation, and this is the greatest place on earth. There'll never be another America as long as we live. Let's show the world just how great we are. Charity begins at home. Let's take care of these people. Let's take care of that woman in the wheelchair down in Houston that has no place to go tonight, that every few possessions she had have been gone. Think of the devastation of the water. Just think about rebuilding all these homes and the problems they're going to have.
It's going to be expensive.
And these gougers, they should have their eyes cut out of their heads.
Yeah, there are SPEDEC reports that's going on.
Guess what? Get them.
Yeah.
And by the way, one thing about swift justice in Texas, they get it done.
It is swift.
They get it done, baby.
Yeah, we talked to a homeowner who has cameras right outside his house monitoring it very, very closely.
Neil, God bless Texas.
Yeah, right. You know, stepping back from this and the issue of how it can unite a country can also define officials and leaders, the president, governors, if they're good at it and react well to it or not. Mm-hmm. How do you think, first off, the president is doing on this?
Well, I think he did a great job yesterday going down there with his wife. What could he do? It had to be symbolic. With his hands, how much can he help? But he goes there and he lets them know, I'm focused on this, and he's going back on Saturday, I understand.
Right.
And his wife went with him. So what's the media focus on? Her stilettos, whatever the hell are those
Idiotic.
shoes? What do they call those shoes with the big spikes?
High heels, I don't
Whatever
know.
I don't know. I don't wear them, that's all.
But she went down, well,
She went
that we
with
know
him.
of.
She went with him.
But she went there to help, you know?
It was like Lady Bird Johnson planting the flowers on the highways.
Right.
It's symbolic. This is what we should be about as Americans. He did the right thing.
But there is a lot of that zinging back and forth in the media. Not a lot of it, but as much as we've seen in the past. Maybe this is toning it down, but enough.
Maybe we're going to get a break from all this insanity that's going on in America right now.
Don't count on it.
Well, I'm hoping, because
I am too.
Maybe this is God's divine intervention.
All right. Well, let me ask you, and this will tease because I want another segment with you. You are saying, just to be on the record, that now is not the time to consider tax cuts, right?
Absolutely not. Get it done. Get these people the help they need. If there's anything left over for tax cuts, then we get them. But first things first.
You know, there have been, we mentioned before, examples of price gouging. There was a Best Buy incident where they had a bottle water, remember, you said, so $43 for a big old case of water, so it was priced per bottle and all that. Maybe not intentional gouging, but gouging just the same. What do you think of this when people do take advantage of this? Not in the classic sense of looting or you know, doubling the price of gasoline.
Look, if you have a price on Friday and you have a severe storm on Saturday and Sunday, and on Monday you've raised your prices from what they were on Friday, you're gouged. You're gouged. It's that simple. You don't raise prices as a reflection of this tragedy, all right? And if you do, you should be shot. You're exploiting the very worst instincts of humanity. You're saying, I'm going to take advantage of this for my own personal gain.
And you wonder why, right? Because a lot of those people are going to come back to those same businesses after. Do they ever think long term that whatever pop they get for that gouging, they're going to lose in customer loyalty?
Guess what?
They don't care.
They're short-sighted, but guess what? They don't last.
Yeah.
Thank God Home Depot right now, you watch and see what we're going to do. We're going to do everything we can for that part of the world. We did it in Katrina. We did it in Sandy. We'll do it again.
I think you guys are already matching whatever donations people are making, right?
We did it in 9/11.
Right.
9/11, we emptied out all the stores that had generators and shovels and gloves and flashlights and we shot them down there. I got a flag in my office commemorating that effort on Home Depot's part that the Plumbers Union, my old man was a union plumber, the Plumbers Union had this flag made with where the stores are, the skyline of New York in back of the stores. It's in my office. We're at our best.
We really are. But I'm wondering, I was thinking of your old Home Depot and some of these others that they're helping people who need this stuff.
Absolutely.
But now stuff can't get to them because...
Well, that's another story.
So what do you do?
Well, you have to wait to God.
Right.
You know, God's got to cooperate and give us the roads to get the merchandise there.
Yeah.
But look at what we're doing with our own people. We've unleashed money out of a HOMA fund that if we have people that work for us that are having tragedies in their personal lives, we're going to help them. It's what you're supposed to do. And guess what? You help them, and God will help you. It's that simple. Nothing more, nothing less.
Do you think this will be a turning event? You said at the outset that it could change people, that they might be more willing to cooperate.
It'll be a turning event for about 6 months. And
yeah,
then
that's what I fear.
Come on, that's human nature.
Yeah.
You know, when 9/11 hit, we all pulled together. And
Remember that?
Guess what?
They were singing on the steps of the Capitol.
2 years after 9/11, you never, by the way, go down and look down there, what was there. Go look at the recovery. You talk about a great city. Look at this. Look, how about our medical center? Gone. Gonzo. Look at it today. It's booming. It's roaring.
What are you prouder of, the Ken Langone Medical Center or Home Depot?
Both. I couldn't do the medical center without Home Depot. Much of what I did, what Elaine and I did at the medical center, is because of Home Depot. Every single person that puts on an orange apron at Home Depot ought to feel some sense of accomplishment at what happened at the NYU Langone Medical Center. Because if they didn't do what they did, I couldn't have done it here. So guess what? It's interlinked. The question was, when somebody asked me one time, did I ever think I'd have another Home Depot on me? I said, no way. I was wrong. I was 64 years old, and Marty Lipton asked me to take this job. Most guys are looking for a place to go chew the cud. Hell, I suited up, and off we went. And here it is 17, 18 years later, and look at the place. It's unbelievable. Don't sell America short. We're the best.
Ken Langone talking about, of course, his Ken Langone Medical Center, which provides needed, valuable cancer-treating service and a host of other ailments for anyone who needs it, anytime.